Hi, I'm Ruth Chandler, one of the co-authors of Fabric Embellishing, The Basics and Beyond. And this is our second video. We are going to work with the second foundation in the book, which is tucks. To start with your tucks, you have to remember you need about double the amount of fabric as what you want to end up with. So if you want to end up with an 8 by 10, you're looking at least a fat quarter to start with. The tucks themselves are quite easy to do. They're just little folds that you've stitched down with your machine. If you get too big, much bigger than about a ½ inch or so, you're getting into pleats. And so you're going to get a bulkier look, and you want to avoid that. So I would say a rule of thumb is stay to about ½ inch or less. And this started with just a teeny tiny, looks like maybe even an 1/8 of an inch or less, and here looks like about a quarter, and you can randomly vary them and it gives you a better look. You go one direction, then you turn around and go the other direction. It's pretty simple. You can measure ahead of time, or if you want more of an organic look, just fold and press and then stitch it down. One of the things that makes your tucks look really interesting and give it a lot more texture is the way you press it. So if you press one direction and not the other, you're going to get like this. So you can pull your tuck down one direction and stitch it, and it'll hold it in that section, and you'll see pictures of this in the book. So here we have one of the purple ones that has been already pressed and folded, but it's only pressed one direction. And this one you'll get going two different directions, and then you use this as a foundation, and whatever you put on it it'll just give you more interest in the back. There are several fabrics you don't want to use. One of them would be something like this. This fabric is so bright and has so much print to it. When you go to tuck it and you make tucks, all that work disappears and you can't hardly see that it's tucked. And I don't know if you can see this very well on the video, but you do all the work for nothing because it doesn't show up. We stayed with more of the tone-on-tone fabrics for the video, but you can certainly go to darker and lighter. This kind of tone-on-tone blue works really well. Something in a brighter color like this will work very well. And if you look at it here, I don't know if you can see this down that low, it's just a matter of tucking it and tucking it, and you can play with it and look at the folds and pull them apart, do what you want. But see, it gives a really neat texture to the background if you have these little tucks in here like this. One thing I would suggest is maybe try a stripe. If you try a stripe at on the bias, you will get a really interesting piece. Some tuckings that the stripes don't quite line up, and it'll give you really a lot of fun colors. And I think this is the one Liz is going to use for her next page. She's not done the tucks page yet, but she already has the stripe in the bias. So when she does this tucks, and once again you're going to have to start with quite a bit larger piece than what you want to end up with, and you can see how these little tucks are going to look when you get this into a whole page like this. And I'll give it a little press just to hold it down a little bit, and then when you go this way, it's going to really look interesting. And then, depending on if you press it like this, you'll have these almost biased look pieces that'll come out and really almost give it a curved look. So play with your fabrics. One of the things you can do is find tucked fabrics on in the commercial fabrics, and this is one of them. It shows tiny little tucks really close together, and it's a beautiful piece of fabric. But you can do this on your own. Get some light to dark fabric. Do your little tucks that are, these look like maybe a 1/16 of an inch tuck, and they're really close together. And it gives it kind of a, almost a springy feel. And you'll end up with a gorgeous piece of fabric and not have to pay $30 or $40 a yard. Think of it in different types of fabric. We just showed you here cottons. This is a piece of silk. One of the things that really makes a difference in how the tucks look is the way you press it. When I sewed this all together, everything was all pressed down one way. But I pressed parts of this just like this, and then moved down here and did this section. And if I hold it up, you can see it gives it quite a bit of texture here, and parts of it lay down one way and parts the other way, and this is what's going to give you a lot of great look to your tucks. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I'm looking forward to seeing some of your samples.